Ambassador Khalili, I see that photograph on the table of you and Commander Ahmed Shah Masood. He lost his life. You were there with him. You almost lost your life yourself. Did you imagine that in so short a span of time, things would change so quickly that the Northern Alliance is now within striking distance of returning to full-fledged power in Afghanistan?
No, we didn't. I did not expect this rapidness and this development, which was extraordinary here, unpredictable. Neither me nor Commander Masood were thinking that things will change so rapidly in Afghanistan.
And even after that, everybody thought that the fall of Kabul could take another many months through the winter and maybe even after that. What do you think really swung it in the end?
No, after 11 September and then world eyes on Afghanistan and the action of United States in relation to destroying Taliban and Osama and others, we could predict that things will change very soon and we will be as soon as possible in Kabul, mainly because the front lines of the enemy were very strong and it was pounded by the airstrikes. Commander Masood had worked very hard to organize his forces to a very large extent. That was one of the main reasons for entering Kabul.
But they didn't want you to enter Kabul.
That was, I think, also from a good intention that we should not enter Kabul, or maybe influence of Pakistan to tell them that do not allow Northern Alliance, because unfortunately Pakistan thinks that Northern Alliance is just an obstinate, ardent enemy attack.
So what happens next? President Rabbani is still officially recognized in the world as the official president, but everyone acknowledges that there is a need for a different kind, a broader based kind of leadership. Is there any thought within the alliance of who possibly your new leader would be?
No doubt President Rabbani is recognized by many regional countries except Pakistan, which is very important for us. India has recognized President Rabbani right from the beginning we left Kabul, and also United Nations has recognized President Rabbani. And we entered Kabul by our forces. We captured Mazar, we captured Herat, we captured a good part of Afghanistan. But what we think is that, yes, this is correct, we have to think about an interim arrangement for today and tomorrow of Afghanistan. We have to include all who have not been included in the past.
So where does that Pashtun element, which is the majority ethnic group in Afghanistan, where would you draw it from? Would you be willing to draw it from defectors in the Taliban?
We have asked United Nations to be instrumental in bringing everyone or all or not majority in that arrangement.
For argument's sake, if there were a section of the Taliban that was willing to cross over, would the Northern Alliance be willing to accommodate them in the next arrangement?
No. We are not at all indeed willing to include Taliban into the present or future arrangement of Afghanistan because of many reasons. One, they were the stooges of another country. Two, they invited terrorists in Afghanistan. Three, they supported with the blood of Afghan people. They did not want Osama bin Laden. C, they were indeed exporting terrorism everywhere. You remember that Kargil, that Kathmandu, Kandahar episode, which was absolutely theirs. This is why we cannot include them by any names in the present or future government, period.
What will happen to them then? Mullah Umar is still alive, Osama bin Laden is still alive. Do you believe these men will be captured? What will the Northern Alliance do to the bulk of the Taliban leadership that has not died in the conflict?
Number one, they are very limited. Number two, Pashtuns are not supporting them. Number three, that their morale is very broken. Number four, they do not have any place amongst the common people. Either
Will they be killed by the Northern Alliance soldiers?
In the fighting, if we face-to-face fighting, they may be killed. But what I see that before coming to that point, they may leave Afghanistan and go to the mountains of Swat with those who have been helping them for the last 6 years. You mean Pakistan? That's right.
Do you believe that Osama bin Laden has already crossed over into Pakistan? That's what some intelligence reports suggest.
I don't believe yet. I think still they think that they can be in the mountains of Kandahar or Helmand and kind of wage a kind of guerrilla warfare. If they do it, it does take time a little bit until people reach there and get them out. But I think committing suicide or leaving Afghanistan would be the choices that they would have.
Masood Khalili, what lessons has the Northern Alliance learned from its last stint in power? Because critics of the alliance say that your warlords were often guilty, as guilty of the Taliban, of human rights violations.
They go back to 1992, man. And they're right to say that in 1992 Kabul became a hell. No civilian could indeed stay in Kabul. We did not deliver anything to them. And it was a matter of disappointment for everyone. The hope of people was shattered when we entered. But people should go to the causes of that also. There were elements responsible for that. Number one, ISI of Pakistan, sending Hekmatyar in the south of Kabul, rocketing poor people of Kabul every day by hundreds. Then everybody entered in Kabul with thousands of Kalashnikovs. No one could indeed stop another one. 3, the neighboring countries did not play a positive role, besides Pakistan. 4, we were unexperienced. We came down from mountains, reached to Kabul, and found that, look, everything will be okay, but everything was not okay. That situation was created by these elements. Also about 70% secret police of the former government of Afghanistan, Najib, who were scared of us trying to bring an atmosphere of chaos. These elements are not there. I can assure everybody that as long as it's in our hand, not being interfered, we do not bother our people. They worked so much, they suffered so much, they hope so much now. The minute we do it, even to go and say, look, this is our power, no one can come. No other people. We have liberated Kabul and we are the masters of Kabul. No, that does not work. We know this element, which has been very important element of the people. If you don't have it, you're ruthless. If you have it, you're fruitful.
India has asked for the UN to play a more active role. Some countries have suggested a Muslim peacekeeping force, others suggest a UN peacekeeping force. The Northern Alliance says there's no need for either. How does the interim arrangement work out then?
We don't have any objection of peacekeeping forces. We do not rule it out when we need it. But I think for the time being, we do not need peacekeeping force. Even if we have got a mechanism, and that mechanism is not accepted, God forbid, by all or by a majority, peacekeeping force will be a victim of politicization of everything in Afghanistan, and one by one would be harmed. But if we work on an interim, viable, practical arrangement to include all ethnic groups in Afghanistan, I think that will not need any kind of keepers.
Had Commander Masood been alive today, what role would you have seen for him in this new dispensation?
His last slogans and his last philosophy was that, always telling, the last night I was with him, he was telling, I never forget it, that I asked him this question, what please? Let us take people to people. Let us resort to the will of the people. He said, this is my desire, to see Kabul out of Taliban and these extremists, and then an atmosphere that my people would be able to choose their government. This was his idea. If he was alive, he would have done the same, that let us make a government by the people, for the people, not a government that please this one or that one. We miss him, no doubt, a lot. I personally miss him, and when I saw these boys entered Kabul and his photo was being carried by them, I was in tears, and I was happy that the desire he had to see his forces go to Kabul and liberate Kabul from the hand of darkness, extremism, fanaticism, and you know, Pakistan's bad game, and Pakistanis on the soil of Afghanistan, Arabs, his desire is fulfilled. But still it is remaining how we can reach to the people.
When is that photograph from?
It is 1984, when I was with him, and we went to the upper valley in the Panjshir, a side valley. A lot of fighting in the main valley was going on, and he told me that let us go up and talk, and then he left poetry, read poetry for a day. That is that very day. It was October 1984. I was on his right side when he was killed. I was again on his right side. I was sad that he was killed, but I am proud that I was with him. He was a legendary commander, a commander no one can indeed see like him, at least in my countries, for centuries. He was a man honest, brave, hospitable, and very much a freedom fighter. Loved his people, and thank God he gave his life while being in the country and working for his country.
Did you think you would make it back alive?
No, when I was unconscious totally, once I opened my eyes and I thought I'm going. The first time I opened my eyes was in the helicopter. His face was full of blood, his hair beautiful that day. And I was having pain, and I just wanted to. I knew that we die, but I wanted just to make myself closer to him. And I couldn't, I became unconscious. And then for the second time I opened, I said, no, we die, but then you know, something happened. You never know that I survived. I do not know if to say whether I survived is good or I would not have survived. I'm thanking God, no doubt, because I'm back with my family, with my people. But I'm happy that I was with him. And 2 nights we talked so extensively. And coming practically with him, things would have been different now.
They would have been different.
But a positive way. He was charismatic also. But now, what I told you, I'm telling it from my bottom of heart, that this is our policy. I can't lie. I'm just very much wounded. And in this situation, I have to be very frank. We have to help our people to help themselves. And we should not miss this chance. Because once we were abandoned by the world, especially by America and the Western countries, who are our allies against the Soviets, we were forgotten. But now they are committing themselves that they will not forget and reconstruct Afghanistan. That is a golden chance. I'm optimistic that now at the end of the tunnel will be a good light. But we have to cross the tunnel. You know? It is the Afghan people who cross the tunnel. And I tell you that if Afghanistan is solved, then I think that will be very useful for the region. Look, 20 years, people from India could not go to Central Asia, you know, and the last 5 years they couldn't go. It is a catastrophe that people to people cannot reach because of the war in Afghanistan. And unfortunately because of because of a wrong perception and wrong policy of Pakistan. A wrong policy which created so much problem for us, so much problem for Pakistan. And now thousands of extremists in Pakistan. What will do Pakistan with them? Kill them all?
What will you do with the Taliban extremists who you capture? We've seen a lot of Arabs and Chechens being taken prisoners of war. Not many believe they'll make it alive.
No, I think that hopefully we capture them. We won't kill them.
What will you do with them?
Well, rearranging their way of life. And I don't think it will be more than 500-600 that we will ultimately capture.
What will happen to the rest? They'll run away to Pakistan, you believe?
I think they will just leave Afghanistan. Very much. These things happened in Afghanistan. We were very sad to see an Arab is being killed, a Pakistani is slapped in his face, and his body is being spitted by. We didn't like that. We said, well, they're also victim of a wrong policy. Whole thing that, my point is that if they're surrendering, that's very good. We won't, but in the war, look, because they kill us. In Takhar, we lost wounded and killed about 200, which was a lot. Then you're in your hand of a soldier who is revengeful, doesn't care about commander, and he has got to kill the person. We are not that much sophisticated. We are not that much thinking about humanitarian values of human life. These boys who are 20 years old, they were born in the war, fed by the war. So the minute they get an enemy, the best thing for them is to kill. But our commanders have always been stood in front. Especially Commander Masood was very, very much against killing anyone when they are captured.
Let me ask you finally, I was speaking to your son before we began the interview, and he said he was 16 when he last went to Afghanistan, 5 years ago now. When do you think you will be able to travel back with your family to Afghanistan?
Kabul is my city also. I was born there. And I've got a house and a bedroom that I've never found any room like that in the world to take rest so calmly and quietly, even if there were rockets of Taliban. If tomorrow is a flight from here to Kabul, I'll be the first to go and make my eyes blessed by even the ruins of Kabul. I'm not very much emotional, but I tell you that this has been my desire. And it is to be one of the first to be in Kabul. My family also the same. And they also wants to go again to Kabul. But now I'm optimist, man. Those elements are not there. Kabul will be good, and we will be reaching back to Kabul, which is maybe one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Most beautiful. The weather, people, the small shops, disorganized, kebab and these things, and then the smell of that is so good that I do not know. I've studied here in India, and I do miss the time that I was studying. But that's a city that I want to live there and be buried there, not any other. And I think we will do it. We will do it very soon. I hope that things will be okay. We just fixed the airport and the flights will be here. Look, it is 48 minutes to reach to Kabul. You go to Bangalore, it's 1 hour. Go to Bombay, it's 2 hours. And reach to Kabul, 48 minutes. And even if it's 49, 1 minute would be too much for me to not reach. But it is too close. And I hope war is over and they are not doing bad. I think that will be a country that will be a good country, hospitable for everyone. Home is home. And the night I was with Commander Masood, I just read him a poetry small. There's a tradition in Afghanistan, a poet called Hafiz, that who is 70 years before living in beautiful Persian poetry. As we open it, and the first poem, we just say that as a fall, that tomorrow what will happen. Or this is like he's like a palmist, and you open it and tells you that, which is not true. But that night he told me that open that book and see what will happen. And the poem came there was extraordinary, saying that, oh, you too, value tonight. Talk as much as you can. Love each other as much as you can. Many nights will pass. Many months will pass. Many years too. You will not be able to see each other. He said, what? You read it again? And then I read and I just translated again for him in simple Persian words. Always it echoes in my soul and spirit that many nights will pass and you will not be able to see each other. I miss him a lot.